Hello, I'm Jeremy Blain.
Hello, and I'm Paul Marks.
Together with the Enlightened Leader experts, and this is named after brand new research that we've just launched as a leadership manifesto for tomorrow, today. Considering where we were coming into 2020, organizations had come off the back of a global financial crisis that had lasted 10 years. Many were still struggling with digital transformation, workforce transformation, ways of working, and more. And there was increasing pressure for leaders everywhere to be forces for good, thinking about society, communities within which they served, and the planet as a whole. That was before the pandemic hit. Fast forward into 2020, and all of these challenges are coming together. And we felt the time was right to look at what the best organizations are doing to make the difference.
So what we wanted to do, therefore, was to research the leadership traits and skills that are emerging as the most suited for the decade ahead. And in order to do that, Jeremy and I went on a 3-month research project endeavor across 4 regions and 27 countries. We surveyed both leaders and employees to understand perceptions, realities, commonalities, and disconnects. Now, of course, on top of that, we also interviewed 6 senior leaders representing businesses across 3 different continents to gather their professional input when it comes down to dealing with leadership transformation in their own businesses as well.
So we're about to launch these results, and you can download the white paper, self-help tips, case studies, and additional resources from the web pages that you see below. But also Paul and I will be doing some briefings initially so that we can go through the key data, what that means, and help to get to action. But before we do that, I'll come back to what Paul said. Some of the unique insights came out through surveying not just the leaders themselves and gathering the input from the interviewees, but from what the employee perspective was also. And here's some elements from the research just to whet your appetite.
Yeah, so there's a few points, Jeremy, that I'd really like to share with the people listening to this today. So the big one for me, the big takeaway from this research is that there is definitely an increased need for human-centered leadership across the board. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking from both the leadership perspective and, of course, the employee perspective as well. All right, that's key. Now, the top 3 challenges that we found in the research from a leadership perspective was, number 1 was keeping up with the pace of change. Number 2 was attracting and retaining talent. And the third one was going digital or adopting digital, while at the same time trying to protect that human touch and trying to find that fine balance between the two. Now, on top of that, there was a real big disconnect that I'd like to share as well with the listeners today, which is that 7 out of 10 leaders actually thought that they were prepared to deal with these challenges. But when we interviewed the employees, we had a different take on this. So only 4 out of 10 employees agreed with that they thought that their leaders were actually ready. So this is a real big connect, I think, and there's a big gap that needs to be filled. Jeremy, is there anything else you think would be good to add here?
Yeah, Paul, thanks. In fact, one of the things that came out of it and became very clear was that leaders and organizations across the Asia Pacific region were leading the pack. At the other end of the scale, it was the Middle East, Africa, and UK, also with a Brexit effect in there, which were the least prepared, had most to do, not just at organizational level, but at leadership level. So we've put all of this together in our white paper, which we have also complemented with case studies, best practices, the interviewee inputs, as Paul was talking about as well, to bring out the 3 key elements for our brand new leadership manifesto for tomorrow, which were human-centered leadership, community-centered leadership, and business-centered leadership. At the end of the white paper, we have put some suggested actions in place to get started with your own leadership team within your organization. And we've created a brand new Enlightened Leader model, which pulls together all of these traits and skills that we got from our research into one place as a blueprint for tomorrow, today. So please take a look, and we look forward to seeing you on one of our webinars very soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening.